Oh yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel Football Therapy with me, your host Jam. How you doing, friend? I hope you're doing well. I really do hope that. Welcome back to Chelsea news. Of course, things are popping at the moment due to the January transfer window just over that hill over there. And lots of things could happen. Players coming in, players going out, new recruitment staff coming in. It's all going off, and we're going to talk about that today. A little bit more on our new striker, as well as Vivell being announced very, very soon. We're going to talk about Guardiola. That's how you say it, apparently. Yoshko, let's just call him that. Chelsea have already put a bid down for him, widely regarded as the best young defender in the world. And Pulisic and Ziyech could leave in January. Of course, both their stocks have increased from the World Cup, so therefore the value would have increased. And Chelsea might need to make space in the forward line. So I hope you're comfortable, strapped yourself in, and poured yourself a drink. Thank you for liking the video. And to those of you who don't like the video, come on, open your heart. It's Christmas. You're welcome to subscribe. And this video is brought to you by... Ding, 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 One Football, the totally free companion app that gives you everything you'll ever need regarding the beautiful game. You know, that we're coming to the end of the World Cup. If you want to know anything about the statistics, lineups, news around the World Cup, or indeed the return of domestic football, and of course, January transfer news popping up all over the gaff. Helps me out by checking out. You just click the link in the top of the description. So just go and have a click now and have a look. And let's return to the studio. Oh yeah, baby girl. So before we talk about what Di Marzio has been saying in an interview in relation to Chelsea stuff, Yoshko, Hakim and Christian, I'm going to hop over to the Telegraph to reference an article written by the well-informed Matthew Law, talking about Chelsea's new striker prodigy signing, as well as the announcement of Vivell, which should be like imminent. So let's hop in. A lot of hopping going on. Chelsea are aiming to complete the signing of David Datro Fofana from the Norwegian side Molde, with the club also moving closer to confirming the appointment of Christopher Vivell as technical director. To join the Avengers Super Recruitment Data team at Chelsea Football Club, teenage forward Fofana is expected to join Chelsea in January for a fee in excess of £8 million after stealing in front of Brighton, who held talks over a move for the player. Apparently as well, we've read reports, or certainly I have, that Liverpool were also looking at this young centre forward. Chelsea took head coach Graham Potter and his backroom staff from Brighton, and also confirmed the appointment of Paul Winstanley from the same club as Director of Global and Talent Transfers. Of course, we announced that in November. Don't forget, we took Cucurella as well. They must love us. It is unclear whether or not Winstanley was the driving force behind Chelsea's move for Fofana, but the deal is the first since his arrival at Stamford Bridge. I mean, driving force or not, man, they're the ones who scouted him. They're the ones who wanted him. You have to assume he's got something to do with it. And to those of you who aren't being overly positive about this non-high profile signing for a little amount of money, this is what we want, dude. This is what prevents us from having to spend all this money on your Zappa Costas and your Danny Drinkwaters and whoever, and your Bakayoko's 40 million before they get a profile, and you're not even sure they're going to translate well to your league, to your club, to your team, to your language, everything, to your coach. You get these highly rated youngsters for a small amount of money, and you evade all that, and yes, then you can still buy these high-profile players in between for the brand and marketing and whatnot. So Fofana scored 15 goals in 24 league games for Molde. Bearing in mind he's a teenager, that's very, very good this season, and the 19-year-old has already made his senior debut for the Ivory Coast. It remains to be seen whether or not he will immediately challenge for a place for Potter's first team, although his signature could be a timely one because of the injury to Armando Broja, and he's ruled out for at least the rest of the season, seemingly. I think he could challenge for a place. Why not? I think Potter's going to have to readdress what he's been doing, the players he's been trusting. He has played Chukwuemeka, who's a teenager. Of course, in that friendly, he started Amari Hutchison, who's also a teenager, who has been in the matchday squad for 3 out of the last 5 games prior to the World Cup break. So he has turned to youngsters. And there's nothing to suggest he wouldn't turn to, a young striker if he's scoring goals in training, if he's looking good, if he's looking confident. Like, Amari Hutchison is looking confident. So, the Chelsea are also moving closer to confirming Winstanley will be joining the club's new-looking recruitment team by Vivell. Vivell will be joining Winstanley, who will take up the role as technical director. It's understood Vivell has now received clearance to work in England, with Chelsea hoping to confirm his appointment very soon. So, yeah, this was the hold-up. We heard about Vivell for a while ago. He's one of the people from the RB model that Todd Bowley wanted. Seemingly, this was like a bureaucracy work clearance visa thing. So yeah, the appointment of Vivell has been in progress for some time, but is believed to be delayed for work-related stuff. So yeah, other than lining up for Fofana in January, Chelsea have a deal in place to sign Nkunku next summer, which we know about and we've spoken about at length. I think Chelsea are going to make some serious moves in the January transfer window. There's been speculation or some reports and rumours suggesting that maybe Chelsea could do up to 5 deals, sign 5 players, but that's probably, and again, if we are to believe such a rumour, I would assume that would be dependent on getting a couple of people out the door. So, for example, if you do sell Ziyech and Pulisic in January, which is a big ask because they're high-profile players, then you bring in 5, and that's probably like also taking into account like Brewer being injured and I don't know, maybe certain players not working. We'll have to see, but let me know what you think about, all that jazz down in the comment section below. And I'm going to move on now to a soccernews.nl, which is a Dutch website. I've translated it into English because Di Marzio has answered basically a lot of transfer-related questions, and I'm going to reference the ones that are related, of course, to our brilliant Blues. So let's hop into that now. So, Di Marzio was asked this. Joško Guardiola is perhaps the defender of the 2022 World Cup, and he is the interest of several clubs. Where is his future? Now, Di Marzio responds with this. I know Chelsea and Real Madrid are the most interested in him at the moment. They have both already put in bids, but his transfer value has skyrocketed due to his performance in the World Cup. Chelsea will probably make an attempt in January, but Real Madrid prefer a summer deal. And then he goes on to say this silliness. I think Real Madrid will be best for his career. Not only because we're talking about Madrid, but also the presence of Ancelotti, and he can make him better. Pour one out for the disrespect to Graham Potter, who is a good coach, by the way. And by the way, I'm a Chelsea fan. I adore Carlo Ancelotti. He's amazing. But he's also a bit of a Galactico whisperer, isn't he? He was never like the ultimate philosophy manager, was he, Ancelotti? He was always a little bit vibes, and that works. So, obviously, as a biased Chelsea fan, I'm going to be like, no, come to Chelsea with, again, a recurring theme is you're 20 years old, we're building a team for the future. I'm not suggesting Real Madrid aren't, but they've also got a lot of wicked defenders, mate. Rudiger won't be happy about that. I really think Guardiola and Fofana could be the future, as in, defender Fofana could be the future for Chelsea. Excuse me, just burping into the microphone there, in a centre-back too. So let me know what you think about that. Joško, come to Chelsea, mate. Even if it's going to cost a lot of money. Let's move on. Right, Pulisic. Christian Pulisic could be leaving Chelsea with Manchester United and Newcastle United and Arsenal being possible destinations for him. Is there a nice club? Oh, that's nice. Is there a nice club? Or should he choose the Bundesliga and Bayern Munich? Di Marzio had this to say. I don't think he will go to Bayern Munich. I mean, people are saying that because obviously he's played in the Bundesliga and he speaks German, which, and, transitional league running into high lines probably would suit Pulisic really, really well, and probably, he'd get a lot of goals there again, I think. Not that he was scoring a lot before, but I think he'd score a lot there now. I don't think he'd go to Bayern Munich. That depends on Sadio Mane's injury. And again, he presses a lot, Pulisic. So he could, if he turns out to be out for a long time, Bayern can try for Pulisic or Marcus Thuram. Thuram is a free transfer next summer, so he could leave for Munich. If they really decide at Bayern they want to get a winger, then these two are the candidates. Although Chelsea does not want to let Pulisic go at the moment. That's interesting. If they find a replacement for him, that will change. That is interesting. So Chelsea are wanting to keep on to him. He won't sign a new deal. I think Chelsea would want him to sign a new deal more to protect his value. They probably wouldn't. They'd probably try and just extend and not give him like a pay rise, maybe, because he's probably on quite good money, but he's probably not on like super elite goal scorer money, which he isn't, scoring loads of goals or whatever. So it'll be interesting. I think Chelsea probably just want to protect their asset because he's got 18 months left on his deal, I believe. Forgive me if I'm wrong. So they probably want to say, look, extend for, I don't know, 18 months, an extra, or even longer, just as long as you stay on these wages. I understand why he wants to go. I'd be really intrigued to see where Pulisic wants to go. Like, where would he want to go, Pulisic? He hasn't got an allegiance to Chelsea particularly. I don't feel like he feels like he owes Chelsea anything. So, in terms of going to a rival, I don't think he'd have a problem with that. It's just an interesting one. I'll see what happens. Obviously, we'll watch that story very closely. Follow the Christian Pulisic saga. Let's move on. All right, then. Hakim Ziyech. What will be the destination of Ziyech, of course, in the third place playoff for the World Cup with Morocco after having an excellent tournament? Ajax negotiated with him in the summer, but are there bigger clubs, rude to Ajax, in the race for him because of Morocco's good performance at the World Cup? Di Marzio responded with, Ajax and Milan were linked with him in the summer, but in the last days of the transfer window, we contacted Milan, and they let us know on the record that they didn't want him at all. Wow. As they were close to the arrival of Charles de Ketelaere. I think that's how you say it. I also don't think they'll make an attempt for Ziyech. Wow, because they did seem like, he really wanted to go to Milan. I mean, they just won the Scudetto. They're a good team. I think Serie A would be an excellent league, Hakim Ziyech, for him to demonstrate his immense ability, playmaking, passing. It's very positional. Serie A is less pressing and stuff, so you could probably find spaces differently. I don't know. I think it would be a really good league for him. Very interesting there to hear that they've just absolutely pulled out for him because he's a great player. Maybe Chelsea scared them away with, I don't know, a quoted fee. But if we try, is there anything we can do for Rafa Leao? If they want X amount of money for Leao, let's just say they want silly money, but just say Leao won't sign a new deal and say, all right, £85 million, but we'll give you 70 million in Ziyech. So Ziyech is 15 million part exchange, which is not a lot at all. But considering they'll get a replacement winger and he's just had a wicked World Cup, something like that. And we just keep saying it here on the channel. When Todd Bowley bought the Dodgers, the baseball team in America, they paid players to leave. They were taking loads of financial L's, of which they're kind of doing the same at Chelsea. Certainly Lukaku being the best example of that. Or record signing 100 million. We've only just signed him. They're like, yeah, just do whatever with him. We've bought Chelsea Football Club with no debt. Abramovich written off 2 billion in debt. These are our financial L's here. We're just going to have to clean house, And indeed, they did that with the staff as well, and Tuchel and all the other payouts. So Ajax is another story for Ziyech. They are interested because his heart is still in the Johan Cruyff Arena. They would welcome a return, but after this World Cup, I do not expect Premier League teams to try at Chelsea in terms of a loan. Newcastle, for example, which is aiming for a Champions League spot. And it depends on what the player wants. A rental period or a permanent deal. I think Ziyech is going for the latter. Yeah, because he's 29. This is his last chance to sign a decent, high-value, permanent deal. Do you know what I mean? It's the last time to, sign a big contract and just make the money. Mega the money. Very, very interesting indeed. So, what do you think? I mean, it's always the same with Chelsea, isn't it? Trying to get rid of players that are just not deadwood, that's disrespectful, that's just not working or hasn't worked. This World Cup has been a tricky one because it's made people go, see, Chelsea's just gonna give Pulisic and Ziyech a chance. They're both, great players. And they are, man. You can have your agendas. You can be like, Pulisic's the headless chicken and Ziyech is, he's too weak or whatever. But they are very talented in their own way, in their own profiles. But even if they put in performances and do really, really well for their countries, it just doesn't mean it's suddenly going to work with Chelsea in the Premier League. Do I need to sneeze? No. Maybe. Anyway, we'll have to just let that sneeze go. There's nothing worse than letting a sneeze go, isn't it one of the many disappointments in life when you sort of feel the crest of a sneeze? It's there, and you just have to let it go. It's terrible. I'm so sad. Anyway, yes, because Pulisic and Ziyech have played really well in the World Cup, doesn't mean they're just going to suddenly come back and cook in the Prem in the Champions League or whatever. Anyway, let me know what you think. I think Chelsea will go for a midfielder still in January. Of course, the days are drawing in towards the transfer window. I look forward to hearing more and more stories and reacting to them accordingly with you guys here on the channel. So let me know your thoughts, feelings, and opinions on that. Outgoings, ingoings, tactics, and hopefully eventually some wins. So do remember to check out One Football, clicking the link at the top of the description. Just go check it out. Thank you for liking and subscribing, dear sweet viewers. Subscribers, you can join the Football Therapy Goat Gang by clicking join underneath the video. Kisses. Peace.